Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we've got a really special video today. I'm going to be ranking every single vibe coding tool, or as many as I can really. The rules are simple. You have to be able to produce an app or website or a mobile app, and I'm not including any IDEs, so no Cursor, no Windsurf, no Copilot will be in this tier list, and no design focused tools. I've got a couple in here, but the ones that are too design focused I have not included. So by the end of this video you should be able to know which tool you should spend your money on, which tools to potentially avoid, and which tools are best for certain use cases like websites, web apps, and mobile apps. So let's just get straight into the video. Very quickly before I get started, I just want to let you guys know that a lot of these tools I've not played around with as much as some other tools, but I've got a decent understanding of how good they are, and I've used some basic prompts, some templated prompts just to test out their features. I've also had to play around with their different features and integrations and looked at their pricing as well to give me a good idea of where to rank each tool. Now let's get straight into it. So the first tool we have is Replit, and Replit is one of the more robust tools on this. It's one of the older tools as well, has a lot more features than some of these tools on this list, but it does take its time while planning and creating the app, and it's a little bit overcomplicated, especially for people that are not as technical. And when I put my prompt into it, it did create something that was okay, but was a bit generic. What you'll find is that a lot of these tools will create generic things from a basic prompt, so that's not too much of an issue. But because of all that, I don't think Reddit is S tier, but I think it's solid and it should go in A tier. Now the next tool on our list is Wegic. Wegic is actually strictly a website builder tool. It's not really for apps or for websites, but it does create good looking websites. I think it's among the best on this list, I'd say. Only issues I'd have with it is that the basic subscription plan only gives you one website with maximum 10k visitors, and that seems kind of expensive. You're paying $20 a month for just one website. So I think because of that, I would rank Wegic in C. Now next up we have MagicPath. MagicPath is more design focused, design orientated. I've made a video on MagicPath on my channel. It's really good for creating prototypes. It's also really good for, creating mock-ups and getting the understanding of how you want something to look like before you go into something more design focused or more dev focused like Figma or like Cursor. And what I found is that it creates the most beautiful designs out of pretty much all the tools here. And because of that, I think MagicPath, for what it is, it's going straight into S tier. It is very good for what it does. It doesn't try and build something that you can publish or that you can deploy in the App Store or something. It doesn't try and be too design focused. It has a nice sweet spot, a nice balance, and you can also customize the design systems, make something look really beautiful on MagicPath. So because of that, it's going into S tier. Now the next tool is actually a tool called Bind AI. Many of you may not have heard of this tool, but it kind of tries to combine Cursor and Lovable together. So it's a little bit of an IDE, a little bit of just like a vibe coding tool. The notes I have here is that it has an average looking UI, some outdated models as well, so it hasn't got the up-to-date AI models like GPT-5 and all that. And the premium plan only lets you connect one GitHub repository, so it's not as good as other vibe coding tools like Bolt v0, and it's not got a better IDE than Cursor or Copilot, so I think it should focus more on one of the two avenues there. Because of that, unfortunately, Bind AI is going into the D tier. Next up, we have a more design-focused tool or prototyping tool. We have UX Pilot. Now, UX Pilot is actually slightly older than some of these tools here. It focuses more on getting the prototype and the wireframes and the high fidelity wireframes of a design out, where you can then download the code and go into something like Bolt, V0, Cursor, whatever you want. It's more design focused, and I think Magicpatterns, it's better than these two for what it does. It's not as good as Replit, so I think it's going to go into the B tier. Next tool we have, I'm actually going to combine these ones. We have Magicpatterns and we have Rocket. There's not really much to differentiate between these two. I think these two tools are very similar. Yeah, so we have Magicpatterns and Rocket. I think they're both going into the A tier. They're similar to like Bolt, V0, Lovable, but they don't have as many robust features as the other tools I mentioned. They're good tools, nothing too special, but they do the job. Rocket has opportunity to use different frameworks, which is nice as well. And I noticed that when inputting my template prompt, it had a little bit more detail on the landing page and has nice supported integrations like Figma, Stripe, and Resend. Now the next tool we're going to look at is a tool called new.website. I think it's this one. And new.website, what new.website does is, in the name really, creates websites and has actually a cool brick breaker game which I was playing with whilst I was waiting for the code to be generated. It does use non-generic fonts, which is surprising. It actually used Space Grotesque in the initial prompt. I didn't even prompt it to, and it has forms integration as well. But apart from that, there's nothing too fancy, it's too special. It's strictly only websites as well. Similar to Wegic, I think it will go in the C tier. The next tool is Bolt.new. Now, Bolt's one of the older tools and more well-known tools on this list, and it's a really good tool. It has the chat feature is nice and clean. It has discussion mode as well, really nice. It's now coming out with back-end options as well, which is really handy as well. It has some nice integrations that are easy to use as well. Couple things, there are some annoying error loops that you can come across when using Bolt, and sometimes it can take ages to load the application, and a couple of times you might come across some deployment issues, but it is miles better than a lot of tools on this list, and I think it generally deserves to go into the S tier next to MagicPath. The next tool is V0. Now, V0 is kind of similar to Bolt. It's made by Vercel, so you can deploy in Vercel. It has nice integrations and native integrations and all that. It has a really nice design mode, should I say, and it's the best out of all the tools on this list. So because of that, V0 is going straight into S tier. You can design really beautiful things on V0 and yeah, just publish them straight away. The next tool is Tempo Labs. Now, I used Tempo Labs a while back and I've also used it recently before making this video. And what I will say is that it was a little bit confusing when I was trying to use it. I think it's a bit too overcomplicated. It generates a PRD before you start, which is nice, and diagrams, but again, it's a bit overly complicated. And the way it lays it out, you have like different components that it brings together into a site, and I don't think it works too well. So because of that, Tempo Labs is going into the C tier. Next tool we have is Google Stitch, and yeah, it's going straight into the Google Stitch tier. This tool is horrible. It is terrible. I don't know what Google are thinking publishing this tool. This tool was made for LinkedIn users. If you are always on LinkedIn, you probably use Google Stitch. It is absolutely terrible. It doesn't produce a line design. Like the basic rules are just aligning something in the middle. It doesn't follow. It is horrible. Like, let's just move on. And moving on, we're going from Google Stitch to Firebase Studio, also made by Google, and it is also terrible. Has the same issues. The alignment's terrible. The things you generate are just awful. Yeah, it has all the Google native integrations, but it is not worth your time. Don't use these two tools, they are terrible. The next tool we have is a relatively new tool called Orchids. Now, Orchids, you can create sites and apps, but you can also clone websites as well, and this feature is actually really good. And what I've noticed is that it used to kind of bug when I first used it, but now the tool actually generates most of the site structure of the website you've cloned, and it's a really nicely put together tool. It does create nicer designs than most of these tools out here, so because of that, I'd put it in, I think it deserves to be the top of A. If that was an A+ tier, I would put it in A+. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create an A+ tier, and I'm going to put Orchids in A+. The next tool we're going to look at is a tool called Emergent. And Emergent is similar to a lot of the other tools, but it has a backend as well. You can store secrets and you can have a database on there. I would say the quality of the generated UI is slightly lower than some of the best tools on here, and yeah, it's similar to other tools, nothing too fancy. Because of that, I think it's going to go into C tier, but I think it's better than these, so I put it at the top of C tier. Next tool is Onlook, and Onlook is actually a tool that tries to combine coding and vibe coding with design. However, I came across a lot of issues using this. It didn't actually work until 20 minutes of trying to debug and click on fix, and it was quite slow, it was quite laggy, it took a long time to make. A simple basic prompt was having issues, so because of that, unfortunately, Onlook's going into the D tier. Next tool I'm going to rank is Rork. Rork is for strictly mobile apps, which is good. They have a refined focus. They just focus on mobile apps, and they're good at it. You can create nice mobile apps they can publish to the App Store or the Google Play Store as well. The only thing I had with Rork was that on the initial prompt it did generate something that was quite bland, but I don't think that's too much of an issue if you just prompt and then prompt to get what you want. So because of that, I'm actually going to put it in A tier, but I don't think it's better than these, so I'll just stick it here. The next tool we're going to look at is Subframe. Now, Subframe also tries to combine design and AI and vibe coding, just like Onlook. It's good for design. It's more like Webflow compared to like something like a Framer in terms of the UI for designing. And what's actually quite cool is that you can use the generated style guide and it'll transform the actual Subframe UI to match the style guide as well. But what I will say is that the $29 a month plan is a little expensive, and you only get 3 projects as well. So because of that, I'm going to put Subframe, unfortunately, into the C tier, but right here next to Emergent. The next tool we're going to look at is a tool called Capacity.so, and you have to pay for this tool, so let's not waste any time. I shouldn't really include it in this list if I've not used it, but just to put it there, actually, I'll leave it out for now. I didn't really use it because I didn't pay for it, but not having a free tier when all these other tools have like a few free credits is a bit disappointing, to be honest, so let's move on. The next tool we're going to rank is AuraChat. Now, I use AuraChat a little bit. I made 2 videos on my channel about AuraChat, but unfortunately, I couldn't find a genuine use case for continued usage of AuraChat. If I wanted to create a website, I'd just create it into like vSphere or Bolt. If I wanted to design something, I'd just use something like MagicPath or UXPilot or just use Figma. I feel like it's trying to combine the two, but there's not really a solid use case for it yet. It does have a really nice two-way Figma integration though, has really nice templates, and it's really easy to get assets from photo and image galleries and Midjourney and Spline, so it's really good for that. But because of all what I said, I'm going to put AuraChat into the B tier. The next we're going to look at is actually a new tool, or a rebranded tool actually, called Anything or Create Anything. It used to be called Create.xyz, but that's called Create Anything. And this tool actually surprised me. It's really good at building nice designs. Like, it's not as generic as the other tools on this list, and also you can build mobile apps on this, and it uses Expo Go, so you can open it on your phone and view it on your phone as well. And the mobile feature is actually really good. I was really impressed by this. So because of that, I'm going to put Anything into the A+ tier. The next tool we're going to look at is Leap, and Leap is another relatively new tool as well. And what's interesting about Leap is that it creates really nice backend, has nice integrations, and you can see the structure and the architecture of the app and the different flows, and it's really good at showing you visually how it's going to look. It's also really quick as well, so I think this is a really good tool. I don't think it's quite on the level of these yet, because the only downside is that the premium plan is $30 a month, which is a bit expensive compared to the majority of these tools. But it's a really good tool, and I think it's pushing S tier. If they can just bring that price a little bit down, it might actually be up here, to be honest. The next tool is Mocha, and Mocha is very similar to a lot of these other tools, and it generates some okay looking design as well, but there's not really anything too crazy or too special going on with Mocha. As I said, it's similar to the other tools, so because of that, I'm going to put it into the B tier, I think. Let me just rearrange this. And the next tool is Base44. Base44 was acquired by Wix for about $80 million, I believe. Has backend, has useful integrations as well. But again, like Get Mocha, it's very similar to the other tools in terms of what it generates and all that. So I think because of the backend, it does deserve to go into the A tier right there. And last but not least, we have Lovable. If you know vibe coding or AI tools, you probably heard of Lovable. They've raised a lot of money. They're worth over $1 billion. They have nice features, a lot of nice integrations. They have a nice visual edit feature, but I do prefer the old one, to be honest. And the only negative I really have on Lovable is that the new agent feature, where it takes credits based on the complexity of the prompt and what it's doing, I think that new feature is a bit of a scam. So it'll be a shame when legacy mode leaves. But it's nothing to be said really. It is straight S tier, and I do believe it is the best vibe coding tool. Now let's say I was going to include Cursor and some other tools as well, such as Webflow and Framer, some no-code tools. Where would they rank? Earlier in the video I said I'm not going to use any IDEs such as Cursor, but if I were going to put Cursor on this tier list, it would go in a tier above all these other tools. Let's call this S+. It would go right here. I think it's more robust than these tools, and you can more easily get to a finished working deployable products which you can then monetize on, I don't know, the internet or an app store as well. And Webflow and Framer would also be in a tier above as well. I know it's unfair to compare these tools to these newer tools, but I feel like their tools and the features they have are just so much more developed and secure and safe, and the communities around these tools are just a little bit better than some of the other communities here, so you'll be able to get a more polished product a lot easier, not faster, but a lot easier than if you were to use these newer AI tools. And now as a bonus, I'm going to share which tools I think are most underrated, overrated, and what are the best for each use case. So the most underrated, I'd say, is V0. V0 doesn't quite get the hype that maybe Lovable and Bolt get a lot of the time, but it is genuinely just as good. Those three, Lovable, Bolt, V0, they're very similar tools, very inseparable. That's why they're all in S tier for me. Most overrated, I think Base44. It was acquired by Wix for $80 million, but it has backend, but it doesn't feel as polished or as good as the tools above it. Best for websites, V0 has a nice design edit tool as well. It can publish to Vercel as well, has very nice integrations. Best for web apps, say Lovable, but with Cursor as well. I feel like if you're making a web app, it's best to start in something like Lovable or any of the other tools on this list, and then move it to something more advanced like Cursor, where you can actually integrate more complex features as well. The best for mobile apps, I actually had Rork, but I think anything has really impressed me, so I think anything I would recommend for mobile apps. Rork and Bolt are very good too, as well, if you want to use those tools as well. And best for design, MagicPath. I don't think there's a tool that comes close in terms of design, to be honest. I think MagicPath is by far the best for design. So if I had a magic ball, where would I predict these tools to be in the next few months? Well, I'd expect these ones in the S tier to pretty much dominate the space. I could see Leap moving up here as well, and maybe anything as well. Some of these tools here will stick around, Replit probably, but a lot of these tools will fade away and not be relevant anymore. It's just the way it is. There'll be a select few that will dominate, and then the rest probably will fade away, or probably not even exist anymore, to be honest. And in the next few years, well, I'm not sure how much companies are willing to invest in AI tools or vibe coded tools, but as AI becomes more advanced, a lot of things will become more obsolete. That's all I would say. Anyway guys, thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, please subscribe. This video took a long time to make, a lot of research involved, and yeah, subscribe for more videos about vibe coding and some design and how you can merge the two as well. And I'll leave a link for all these different tools so you can try them out, and a link to the final tier list as well, so you can check out which tools you want to maybe try or maybe give a pass at. Yeah, and I'll leave those links in the description down below. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.